forged pistons, cam bearings, all that hype. But the summer rolls by while the car just sits, and you ain't heard that exhaust in months like this.
Got a really good topic today. You're gonna have to excuse the rain. There's no way to really combat that, sadly. This engine behind me, check this out. This is a takeout from a 1987 LTD. And your engine just blew up in your Fox body. And you found this for 400 bucks. Pulled out, ready to go. I think you guys are really gonna like this video, but I need you to keep an open mind, all right? Don't get all high and mighty on me. Don't go all elitist. Hear me out. This video is not for everybody. It's gonna save a lot of people a lot of time. So you've gotten yourself in a little bit of a bind, right? You need an engine and somebody pulled one out for you. You found one there again, you know, 400 bucks, 600 bucks, 800, 200, really doesn't matter. But you're on a tight budget. So how do you go about deciding what you do with this? Well, the first thing you need to do is put a pull handle on it. Make sure this thing spins over, which it does, so the engine's not locked up. Next up, you probably want to pull a spark plug. We can go ahead and do that now. If you're on a budget and you're really just trying to get an engine in the car, there are a few things we need to check, but outside of that, we might be good to go. Engine's running a little rich, so there's probably a bad sensor somewhere on it, probably a ECT or ACT sensor, more than likely, or bad O2 sensor. And now all we want to do is get a flashlight or something, try to look down in the cylinder just to make sure there's no rust. And there again, you know, I advise you guys to go ahead and at least pull all the plugs out, look, just to be sure. Can you guys see the scoring right there? But outside of that, there's definitely some oil in the cylinder for sure. And notice that this piston does not have relief cuts in it. So that's going to not allow you to be able to run a big cam. I, for one, highly suggest that you go on Amazon and you pick yourself up one of these bore scopes. You can get one that attaches to your phone, or you can buy a handheld like this. You really need it. I think you can get these things as cheap as like maybe 30, 40, 50 bucks, something like that. Look, here's the thing. It's gonna save you a lot of time and a lot of effort and headache, okay? Something else that you can do, just if you're curious, if you wanna take the extra step, go ahead, drain the oil out of the oil pan. Stick this thing in there and look around just to see.
Fox body prime and camshaft sound. Brutal shirts all over town. Lowered stance and burnout flames. Retro Fox is built for fame. Washed black tees, vintage style. Built for car guys driving wild. Brutal, wear it loud, wear it proud. Fox body culture for the crowd.
I would call what we're doing right here bare minimum. If you want to put this engine in your car and you just want to take a chance, right? Now, why would you ever do this? Because I know everybody down in the comment section is typing away right now saying, dude, you cannot do this. That's not the right way. At least go ahead, put a B cam in it, put some GT40 heads on it. This is not for the guy who has the money, who's planning a build. This is the person who ran across the deal on an engine and their engine's blown up in their car and they really need to get this thing put back in. People worry too much about what people say on the internet. Man, if I don't go ahead and put heads and cam and pull this thing apart and rebuild it, everybody's gonna call me a slacker. They're gonna say I don't know what I'm doing or I half-assed it. Look, if you have the means and the ability, by all means, go ahead and pull this thing apart, rebuild it, do whatever, okay? This is not for you though. This is for the guy that maybe doesn't have the money or the time to worry about all that. Hear me out, I got a good point coming up. Let's say you stick this engine in and it's got a knock, it's got a tap, it's got something like that going on. That's okay, that's okay. How long does it take to pull an engine? We'll give it 4 hours, okay? And some people can do it in an hour and a half, some people can do it and it might take 8 hours. That's not the point. The point is it's free to go ahead and drop this engine in and get your car running. Then if you have a problem, worst case scenario, you can pull it apart. The only way to know for sure, and there is no way to know for sure by the way, is to lift this thing up, pull the oil pan, flip it all over, pull the bearings and all that. A lot of people do not have the skill set and don't need to be pulling oil pan off and pulling bearings out, right? Plus, do you know if the crank's been turned or not? I mean, yeah, it should be stamped on the bearings, but these are all things that you need to consider. There's a lot of us out there that probably don't need to be trying to build their own engine, especially if you're on a really tight budget and maybe you've never done it before. So me personally, I say clean this thing up, take it outside, pressure wash it, get all the parts off of it that you don't need, drop it in the car and see if it runs, okay? Put a set of new spark plugs in it. If it makes you feel any better, change out the valve cover gaskets. I wouldn't pull the intake unless you see an obvious leak there, because you're starting to introduce more problems, things that are going to possibly cause you more issue. I know everybody's going to say, man, that's not the right way to do it. Don't be teaching people that. I've done a lot of these engines. I've done a lot of these cars, all right? And I have failed a couple of times, maybe even a few times I have failed, but I have won more times than I have lost taking gambles on engines like this. And there again, I need you to remember what I said earlier. So what if you drop it in the car? You have no money in this because you've not bought any gaskets. You've not bought, you have to buy new head gaskets. You got to buy bearings, intake gaskets, front seal, timing chain, all that stuff. Hell, you might as well just rebuild it at that point. If that is your ultimate goal, is to get one of these engines and then build a stroker, or just rebuild it in general, by all means, pull it apart, rebuild it, take your time, do your thing. Here's another place where people go wrong. Maybe you have the money. Maybe this is your first time ever trying to build an engine. You got the money though, and you want to pull this thing apart, and you want to put a set of heads on it. Maybe you want to put a set of pistons in it, and you're going to kind of do this thing yourself. If this goes south, you're out a lot of money, and then your car still doesn't run. Because remember, we pulled this engine because we needed an engine for our car. Sometimes it's more important to get your car running, get it off jack stands, make it run under its own power, than it is to try to sit here and build a hot rod at this point. See, something that people don't give enough credit to is your car running, rather than you having to push the damn thing in and out of the shop or in and out of the garage or wherever it may be. Sometimes it's more important, 90% of the time, to get it where it can start with a key and you can drive it around. So what if it smokes a little bit? You can fix it later. Remember, it's free to pull that engine back out. Yeah, but brutal, that's not right. That's not the right way to do it. You don't know what's in that bottom end of this thing. You could have saved this engine's life by slapping some new bearings in it. Yeah, you could, and you could also screw things up if you don't know what you're doing. Maybe, just maybe, give it a try. That's not to say that you can't do it, because if you pull this thing back out, you're either gonna have to find somebody to rebuild it for you, or you're gonna have to figure it out yourself. But my point is this: you could have had a nice running engine possibly, but you never gave it a chance. Now, for those of you who want to go ahead and build an engine, guys, this is not the one that you want to build here, if you can help it. And here's why I say that. An engine like this doesn't have fly cuts in the piston, doesn't have valve release. You definitely cannot run a big cam at all, and forget heads with a cam with something like this. But the other thing is, you're not gonna have a lot of compression with this engine. This is more of a get-by type engine here. But let's look at what you really have if you decide that I'm gonna get this engine to build, versus maybe an old block that you got sitting in the corner, right? This is a 40 over block right here. Let's just use this as an example. You got a block sitting here, but maybe in your head, it seems like this is the better choice. It's a whole running engine, right? I can just do this, I can pull it apart, I can build a stroker, you're not keeping anything off this engine. If you already have an engine in your Fox, and you already got like your valve covers and your intake and all that type stuff, right? Otherwise, the reason why I'm saying that is this could be good for that, to be able to get parts like nuts and bolts and valve covers and things like that. But for this engine over here, it's already a part. Why wouldn't you go ahead and buy a stroker kit for it? I don't know, something to think about, right? Because most of the parts on this you're not going to want to use. Definitely not going to want to use stock heads. They're not even GT40. Here's the thing. I know people are going to say, well, just wait and find you an Explorer engine with GT40 heads. We have one of those as well. I'll show you a picture when we went by today. We actually have another one waiting to go pick up. We've already paid for it. We got to get it. But here's the thing about those engines. So this in theory would work in a Fox body. The GT40 engine that comes out of the Explorers, we don't have a traditional distributor. There's all sorts of brackets and wires and things and sensors that you can't use on yours. So just keep that in mind. If you have a GT40 setup, it's a little different than this. This is pretty much cut and dry, drop it in, and you're good. GT40 stuff, just to be able to get the heads and the intake is a lot of work, just so you know. It's not super easy. And as far as these AOD transmissions go, guys, you can do whatever you want to do with these things. You can keep it, build it, or you can sell them. I don't think you're probably going to get much more than maybe $100 a pop for these things. I don't know, you guys let me know in your area, what would an AOD like this run? Also, let me know down below in the comments, how much would this engine just like this being pulled out of an 87 Crown Vic LTD, whatever, what would it be worth in your area? Also, let me know down in the comments, what would you do with this? If the situation was you blown your engine up in your car and you found this and you kind of need to get this thing back going, what would you do? How far would you take it? All right, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up because at some point tonight, I'm gonna come out here, snatch the transmission off this thing and get it up on an engine stand, start pulling the accessories off of it. And we'll have it for a rainy day, I guess. It might have to go in the 95, which I really don't want to do because we're limited on camshaft, we're really limited on head choice and all sorts of things. So, that's a big downer right there. But it's a running engine, I can promise you that. And you can also slap boost on it. So that's good. All right, I'm gonna go ahead and wrap this video up. And as always, thanks for watching.
There's a whole lot of pride sitting on jack stands. Dreams get expensive with a wrench in your hand. You tear one bolt loose, next thing you know, you're knee-deep broke in a machine shop hole. You swore this time you'd do it right. Forged pistons, cam bearings, all that hype. But the summer rolls by while the car just sits, and you ain't heard that exhaust in months like this. So I found me a tight old 302, covered in grease, looked ugly too. Didn't pull the pan, didn't chase perfection, just check compression in every section. Spun it over, heard it breathe, said that'll work, and loaded it for cheap. Sometimes survival beats your car plan. Sometimes you just gotta save your ass, 'cause a running car beats a project every time. A cheap small block can save your mind. Get it off jack stands, let it touch the street. Hear them flow masters under your feet. You can build a dream when the time is right, but a heartbeat motor brings a car to life. Ain't nothing wrong with a junkyard when drop it in and drive again. Everybody online acts high and mighty, talking billet this and never run stock nightly. Meanwhile, their car's been apart 3 years, covered in dust and unpaid fears. You ain't gotta prove nothing to nobody. Sometimes a budget build still sounds rowdy. That little roller motor don't know what it's in. Fox body truck, hell, just turn the key again. And later on, when the money is right, pull it back out one Saturday night. Build the stroker, port the heads, do the wild cam, everybody says. But for now, let that thing just run. Burn some gas and have some fun, because pushing cars gets old real fast, and motivation dies when projects last. Yeah, a running car beats a project every time. A cheap small block can save your mind. Get it off jack stands, let it touch the street. Feel that clutch grab underneath your feet. You can chase perfection somewhere down the line, but movement matters when you're barely getting by. Ain't nothing wrong with a junkyard when drop it in and drive again. So here's to every backyard swap every greasy hood and every thrift shop block, to every guy just trying to cope, keeping old Mustangs alive on hope. Sometimes the smartest thing you can do is quit overthinking and just see it through, because a car that runs can always evolve, but a torn apart dream never solves itself.